Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And today I just want to give you a review of Blooket. I've made kind of some informal videos about Blooket to show some people on the Duolingo Educators Network, but I want to make more of an actual review about why I love it so much. So, I'm highly into game-based learning. I feel like students lower their affective filter. They're not worried about making mistakes. They just want to win the game, and game-based learning is the way to go. Blooket is basically flashcards on steroids. I was looking for something to replace Tiny Cards, Duolingo Tiny Cards, when it shuttered. And frankly, Blooket is better than Duolingo Tiny Cards. There, I said it. Okay. You'll notice here that I'm able to separate all my stuff into different folders, and I've got millions and millions and millions of decks. You can also search for decks, just like you can. It's similar to Kahoot. If you've played Kahoot, it's similar to Gimkit. I always forget if it's Gimkit or Gimkit. It's similar to Quizlet Live and Quizlet Checkpoint, but a million times better than all of these, and I'll show you why. Okay, so first of all, the first wonderful thing that happens is that Blooket lets you keep your history forever. When I'm playing Quizlet Live or Quizlet Checkpoint, if I forget to take a screenshot right after we're done with that game, too bad, all that data is gone. It's just lost forever. So, I've got 7 classes I teach during the day, and oops, I forgot to take a screenshot with period 2. It's gone. All right. This data, Blooket data, is forever. So I can go back and look at it forever. And I have submitted this as part of my Danielson teacher evaluation stuff because it's so beautiful. All right. So the first thing you see when you look at how your students did, and you don't have to look immediately after class. I mean, I do show the students this part. I don't show them how they all individually did, but I show them this. I'm like, as a class, great, you did 85%. I can tell them that in the target language and everything. So that's the first thing you see. Second thing you see is a list of all the students. Now, I'll tell you the one bad thing about Blooket is that it doesn't alphabetize the student. It just gives them in the order that they won the game. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So, but they're all here, every single student, how many they got right and how many they got wrong. We don't care about this. This is pretty meaningless to us. This is whether or not the students won the game, but you'll see this is very clever gamification. It doesn't really have anything to do with how well they actually did in the assessment, just whether or not they happen to win the game. You get the percentages over here, and you get the how many right and how many wrong right there. When you click on an individual student, okay, like here I can see, this student whose name starts with an E, he didn't do particularly well, okay? This student answered 54 questions, got 8 wrong. He only answered 16 questions and got 6 wrong, so he was working much slower than everybody else. Let's look at him in a little more detail. I can see exactly every single question he got right and he got wrong. This question didn't come up for him. All right, this question didn't come up for him, but this one he got wrong. These 2 he got right. Now I could scroll down and I could see every single thing he did. He only answered 16 questions, so he didn't get every single, I think I had like 27 questions in this set. You can assign homework if you want the students to be working individually. It's still fun. So, here's an example of like, I can look at all this homework stuff forever. Tells me when it's due. You can also extend the deadline if you need to. So look at how many different ways to play there are. This is a brand new one they just added. Students love it. Candy Quest is usually Gold Quest, but hey, we're coming up on Halloween, so they have a little skin on it. That's really fun. Classic. Classic is basically Kahoot. Okay, so if you like Kahoot, you could do Classic, but why do that when there's so many other fun ones? Factory is my favorite. It's corporate espionage. This one, you're mining for Bitcoin. Tower Defense is always good. Fishing Frenzy is very chill if your students don't really feel like competing with each other. Cafe is a strategy game. I have never been able to beat my students ever. I've tried 100 million strategies. Blue Crush is a team game. That one is super fun because they'll be screaming at each other. They scream at each other for all of them. They're all good. They're all good. I'm going to recommend that you start with Gold Quest, and let me show you why. Because Gold Quest, I find, gets the most answers, okay? Like here, even the struggling students are answering 65 questions, okay? 58 questions, all right? Students who are your type A's, they're getting 100 questions or so. So I'm going to suggest Gold Quest because we all know that repetition is the key to success. So the more we can get the students to look at those flashcards, the better they will be. Monster Brawl, I don't like as much because the students don't get as many repetitions. So I'm going to say start with Gold Quest. And I took some screenshots. Right now it's got the Halloween skin on it. Okay. So you answer a question. If you get it right, you get to choose a pumpkin, or in Gold Quest, you get to choose a treasure chest. And, you might win something, some coins, or in this case, candy. You might get the opportunity to swap with someone else. You might get absolutely nothing. You might lose 25%. You might lose 50%. You might triple your candy. Okay. Yeah, so it's all good, but it's totally random. So one of the reasons I love Blooket so much is, it was during the pandemic, and I had a student who was sitting, I swear to you, he was sitting at 7%. He did not do anything. And so it was the end of the year, and because he had not engaged at all with anything, there was no way he was going to learn, and he had shut down. He was disengaged. He thought he was stupid. We were playing Gold Quest, and his very last question, he accidentally got right, and he accidentally got swap when he clicked on the treasure chest. And so he swapped for the person in first place, and suddenly there was the leaderboard, and he won the game. And after that, he started applying himself. He felt like a winner. And so it did so much to lower his effective filter. Just a huge cheerleader for Blooket now. While the students are playing on your big screen, you've got a leaderboard. Now, I took these screenshots. I'm the only one in my classroom right now, so I'm the only one here. I find that when I narrate the leaderboard, that's the quickest way possible to teach the students the ordinal numbers. Primero, segundo, tercero, le premier, le deuxième, le troisième. Okay, they pick them up so quickly. And then over here it'll say like, oh, Madame Sensei just stole candy from Bob, and so I translate that. Okay, and it's good for the students to hear that language. One of the other things I really love about Blooket is I can put a lot of rigor in. It's not all the multiple choice like Kahoot is, or like Quizlet Live is, or Quizlet Checkpoint, or anything. You can put in typing questions, all right? So I have another video where I showed that when they first started it. Here's an example of, I just gave them 2 choices because this is a hard one for the students to get. In French, you don't say he is fear. You have to say he has fear, and that means he's scared. But generally, you're going to get a choice of 4, and generally they're going to be different colors. It's just that right now we've got the Halloween skin on, so they all look like they're orange, okay? But generally they'll look like that. This is the teacher view. So the student gets, okay, here I am. I won. Wow, how did I win? I was the only person there. Okay, generally there's 3 people up on the podium, and so you can announce to the class who's le premier, le deuxième, le troisième, whatever, who's first, second, third place. And right here you can click on view report, and then you get that great report. But if you forget to do it, or you don't have time, it's okay. You can go back to it. You can also play again. You could switch to a different game. You could switch to a different deck. This is what the student sees. Okay, the student gets their accuracy list, and I had a typo. I was typing fast, so I'm only at 98%, but you can see, there we go. I've got 98%. Who cares about this? This is meaningless. Okay, the students think it means something. It doesn't mean anything at all to you. You just care about this 99%, 98%, and that they got 43 out of 44 correct. Okay, then the student gets to see every single thing that they answered. They can tell how they did. They get that review. This is what it looks like for you as the teacher when you're creating a question. You type the question here, and then you can type in your answers, or you can import from Quizlet, or you can import from any spreadsheet, or you can import from their spreadsheet. Okay. I like to toggle this button here to go to typing questions, and generally I have maybe 70% multiple choice, okay, just to reinforce things for the students, and then 30% typing questions, just to put that rigor in, and the students feel pretty confident on the typing questions because they've seen them now as multiple choice throughout the game. So it's not too bad. You can put pictures in. I think you saw in a previous one I always try to put pictures in because it's good scaffolding. You can do math, but I haven't had the need to do that yet. You can put audio in, which is great, and I did that when I had some students remote. But for a classroom, yeah, it's me talking, so they don't need that. But I love that it's there because if I was going to like assign something for homework, I'd want the audio there so they can hear the sentence, the phrase being pronounced. I prepare the students to use Blooket because this is a language classroom. Language is communication. Oh, look, it looks like I'm going to delete it because that's the way I took the screenshot. It must have like hovered over that. So I'm giving them all these phrases for I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. How could you do that to me? Because I want them shouting at each other in the target language. Okay. Oh no, I didn't mean to click there. Whatever I think that they need so that they can shout at each other in the target language. That's what's in this game. I got a Japanese one too. I didn't take a screenshot. Blooket is $35.88 per year. If you want to pay it, you don't have to pay it. By paying it, I get a little more data. And frankly, they're a tiny company and they're a really good company. They're very receptive to anytime I've filed a bug report or just emailed them and say, hey, my students love your new game. The music is great. Oh, the music in all of Blooket is really, really fabulous. They're very receptive. They're a tiny company. If you choose to pay for it, $36 a year is not terrible. Okay, but you don't have to pay for it. You can use it absolutely free. But I'm making this review to kind of like ask you to consider paying for it. Okay, Quizlet Plus is $36 a year. And frankly, Checkpoint Live doesn't give you as much data as Blooket does. Blooket, regular Blooket. And you know, I beta tested Checkpoint Live and the students were so jaded with it. They were like, this isn't as interesting as Blooket. Blooket, I got, you know, the students were regularly answering 99 questions. Checkpoint Live, we got through 12 questions, right? No. Love Blooket. GimKit is $5 a month. And GimKit's fun. I like GimKit. I'm certainly playing with making my own. They have this thing now where you can make your own games. But the problem is that when we're playing Gold Quest, the students answer, you saw the data, 50 to 100 questions they answer in 7 minutes. In GimKit, it's 20 questions in 7 minutes. And so I'd much rather have them get that extra repetition. But GimKit's fun. And that's my review of Blooket, and I hope you consider, well, at least use it for free, okay? Use it for free. Your students will love it. And then consider paying the money and take your data and put it into your evaluations at the end of the year because it's pretty data and it's easy for you. You don't have to collect your own data now. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one.